Good morning, Aaron from Car Obsession here. It's another early start, not quite as early as the GTI festival trip, but still early enough. I'm meant to be on my way to Lambourne today, where I'm going to be driving some Beamers. I've barely started my journey and I'm stuck in Worcester Park. Worcester Park is a town near me and it's always busy with traffic. It's one of those towns where there's nothing really there, but it's a place you have to get through to get to other places. I think there's been an incident as well, so it's really not a good start. So to give an update, it's been about 15-20 minutes and I've barely moved. I left at about 6:30, which would have got me to Lambourne at 8:30, and now SatNav says that I'm going to get there at least 9:15, so that means I'm going to be late, which is great because I wanted to get there early so I can get my hands on the M4. So at the moment it's not looking likely. I'm on the M25 now, about to go on the M4, starting to make some good progress finally. However, I do have a bit of a problem. I now have an engine warning light, which is obviously a result from a drag racing that I did last Sunday, but the car seems to feel fine. It's driving fine, so hopefully I should be able to get it there. So now I'm on the M4, and as is the way, I've hit further problems. Traffic is crawling. The time now is 9:42. Don't know what time I'm going to get there, but let me tell you about some of the cars that will be there. You've got BMW M4. You've also got the BMW M2. You've got the M240i Coupé and convertible, 440i. You've also got the i3, which I'd quite like to test, as it's something a little bit different. Also got the 740 hybrids. And in terms of minis, you've got the Mini Cooper S210, the Mini Cooper S210 Edition. I think they've also got the SD Clubman. They've got the Cooper convertible. Now they were meant to have the John Cooper Works convertible there, but that's no longer there. I think they've got one or two other minis there. Can't remember which ones. Oh, they've got the Mini 7, which is the new limited edition one. And it's not fast or anything. It's more of a design limited edition rather than, you know, a sporty one. So yeah, so you know, the car I'm looking forward to getting in, if I can, is the M4. I would like to drive the M2, although I have driven that this year already. But you know, if I can drive it again, that'd be fantastic. Oh, I also forgot another BMW, and they've also got the M140i. How could I forget that one? Being a hot hatch fan, that should be one of the first ones I should have said. Yes, they will also have the M140i there, which I'm also looking forward to driving as well. Hopefully I can get in that. But yeah, just a case of when I get there, and if I get there. Right, so I'm here, finally, I made it. It's only taken 4.5 hours, and no, I'm not exaggerating, it has literally taken 4.5 hours. The engine warning light is still on, but the car still seems fine, so hopefully that's all good. So yes, finally here, 4.5 hours. Hopefully it'll be worth the trip. So I'm going to park up, find a toilet, because I've been on the road for quite a long time, so I'm in desperate need of a tinkle, and I'm going to have a look to see what I can drive first. So the first car I've jumped into is the M240i. which is for model which sits below for M2. This model has a 3 litre straight 6 engine, which produces 340 horsepower. The manual version, which I'm driving now, will get to 60 miles per hour, or 62 miles per hour, in 4.8 seconds. But if you get the flappy paddle model, you will be able to hit 60 in 4.6 seconds. So it may be below the M2, but it's certainly not slow. Oh god, that's quick. And it just picks up speed effortlessly. It's really nice, and it makes quite a nice noise. And then we drop it into third. Oh, it's a dirty noise. It's a dirty noise. So if you can't quite afford an M2, this is certainly not a bad alternative. This starts at 28,700 and something. I've got a little spec sheet down here, but basically it's priced around 29,000. This particular model has had quite a few options put onto it, so I think it's now looking at, bear with me, let me just quickly double check, almost 35,000. So some of the extras include the Harman Kardon sound system and a few others. But as you can expect with BMW, it's very premium, it's very comfortable, got its black Dakota leather, which is very nice indeed. The steering wheel feels really nice and premium. It feels really nice to hold in my hand. And although it's a car aimed at performance, it's actually quite comfortable. I drove an M2 earlier this year, but I drove it on a closed road where there weren't really many divots. Now I'm driving in country lanes, which have got quite a lot of blemishes, and I have to say, just trying to aim for some bumps, I can't really feel them. And you know, that's a testament to the hard work that BMW has put in. Now you may hear the sat nav go off 1 or 2 times. I can't turn it off. I've turned it down, but I can't turn it off. Because I've not been able to find out how, because anyone who's driven a BMW, you'll know the multitude of menus that are in the computer system. And B, I need the sat nav to find my way back. So without the sat nav, I wouldn't be able to give us back. Although that wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing, I could quite happily drive this until it runs out of petrol. But yes, so far so good. Let's drop it down a bit. Got a corner coming up to test for handling. That's nice and flat, grips well. Oh, I like that, I like this a lot. So if you're looking at an M2 and you can't quite afford it, don't despair, because the M240i certainly isn't a bad car. I've only driven this for about 5 minutes or so, and I already think it's absolutely fantastic. I can't really find anything wrong with it. This armrest does get in the way when I'm changing gear, but it's quite nice to rest my arm on, obviously with it being an armrest. So swings and roundabouts, 1 mile. Oh, that is proper quick. So as I mentioned earlier, this is the manual version. It's got a 6-speed manual gearbox, which is just absolutely joyful to use. The change is crisp, it's short, it's snappy. I really like it, I really do. Just feels so good. Just change down again just to get some noise. Oh, that does sound good. Change it to 5th. Really short, snappy gearbox, but that's what you want and need in a car like this. And BMW, you've got it right. Right, let's tackle another corner on the brakes, turn in. Oh, it just feels so planted, just feels so good. The weight of the steering is quite nice as well. It has got a nice weight to it. Gives quite good, gives good feedback. That's direct. I really can't find it. Pheasants! Ah! God, those pheasants are absolutely stupid. My word. It's funny, on the way here I was driving down a different road to this one, and there were 2 pheasants that tried to cross the road, and I noticed 4 dead ones, and that's why, because they're completely thick. Stupid animals. But on the plus point, I now know if the brakes work, which is a good thing. So it's got different modes. So at the moment I believe it's in comfort, which is quite nice, but let's take up a notch, shall we? Put it in sport. Oh, now as you can hear the exhaust pipe, it's definitely got louder. Oh, it sounds quite thunderous. I really like that. Whew. If I had one of these, I think I'd drive it in sport mode all the time. It's also got another mode which is Sport Plus, which turns the traction control off. I want to give this back to BMW in one piece, so I think I'm going to slip it down and put it in sport. And as you can imagine, it sharpens everything up. It sharpens up the throttle, sharpens up the steering. The suspension will be a little bit tighter as well, and the car is preparing itself for a more vigorous driving, shall we say. And as you can hear, change it down. Oh, the exhaust has got loud as well. It just sounds absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I really like that. Aha, national speed limit. Right, drop it down into third. Let's be a bit naughty. Whoa. That is blindingly quick. As mentioned, this model with the manual gearbox will get to 60 miles per hour or 62, whichever, in 4.8 seconds, which is definitely not to be sniffed at. That's properly quick. So yeah, properly quick. 4.6 with the auto box. I know I keep saying it, but if you can't quite get an M2, this is definitely a good alternative. The only real difference is the engine. Obviously the engine in this model isn't as powerful as the one offered in the M2, but even so, it should be more than enough for what you need it to be. Even out here you can't avoid roadworks. I'm pretty much in the middle of nowhere in Lambourne, and even here there's roadworks. Now, although I've put it in sport, the comfort hasn't really gone down too much. Yes, I'm noticing the bumps a little bit more, but would I say I'm uncomfortable? No, not at all. Not at all. This will be a good chance to test for sport mode. It's doing well so far. Doing well. Oh. It's a little bit bumpy. Nothing too serious. Getting hard on the brakes as I can't see what's coming. Bloody pheasants! God, that sounds dirty. Naughty car. Naughty car. So I'm driving through this really small village. Oh, there's a horse there. Don't want to startle it. Easy, Aaron. Off your throttle. So I'm driving through this really small village. I just feel really antisocial just driving this big, sporty, quite loud, well, very loud BMW through town. I'm sorry, Lambourne. I'm sorry. If I'm interrupting your telly, then I'm sorry, but boy, is it worth it. And then some. God, that's quick. So quick. That road gets a little bit twisty here. National speed limit, that's what I like to say. Just picks up speed so easily. I've got a corner coming up, on my brakes turning. God, that's planted. So much grip, so much grip. And I'm stuck behind a postage van. Mate, you want to get one of these? You'll get your parcels delivered in no time. They should have given Postman Pat one of these. It's also quite nice to have a manual gearbox. Quite a few cars like this will come with flappy paddles, which I don't mind, but I'd much rather have a manual gearbox every day of the week. I like to be involved. I like to feel that I'm driving the car rather than just being sat in here and just operating two paddles. Pardon me. Yeah, it's really nice to have a manual gearbox. It really makes a difference to the sensation and the joy of driving. I really like it. National speed limit coming up. Now I know I said I wouldn't put in Sport Plus, but as I'm almost back, why not? It went from 40 to 60 in no time at all then. Right, on my brakes, turn in, still stuck behind postie. Oh, now I was not expecting that. So I've only driven this car for a brief period. I'm not too far from going back to base to hand it back and seeing what else I can get my hands on. Hoping to, of course, have a go in the M4. I'd also quite like to have a go in the M240i. I'm looking forward to that if I can get my hands on it. But in the brief time I've been driving this, just really enjoyed it. It's been absolutely superb. And I haven't really gone too much into depth about the specs and so forth, but because I arrived so late, I just wanted to get my hands on something and get driving. When I got here, there's only two cars available to drive. This and the 7 Series long base, which, nothing wrong with it, but come on. A choice of either this, the M240i, or a 7 Series long wheelbase, which, let's face it, is an executive car. I think I'd take this 10 times out of 10, 11 times out of 10 in fact. So yeah, so I've only driven this briefly, but even so, really impressed, really impressed. I drove the M2 earlier this year, and I can't really notice a great deal of difference between this and the M2. I think in the real world, I know the M2's faster and it's got more performance, but in the real world, I really think there's not much to separate the two. Right, so I'm almost on my way back, and although this wasn't one of the cars I was most looking forward to driving, it still really impressed me. It's just everything's just bang on. I can't really find a fault with anything. The steering is lovely. The gearbox is short and snappy. Really like that. It's nice and crisp. Handles brilliantly. It's got good performance. I really cannot think of anything I can find wrong with this. Obviously, living with it day to day might be a different story, but on a brief sort of 30-minute drive I've had with the car, just absolutely spectacular.